Guys, what is good and what is going on, Sixer Nation? For the first time in about 2 months, Sixer Nation, we are back to live streaming. That's right, ladies and gents. We're finally back for another live stream here on this Friday evening, the day after July 4th, Independence Day. Hopefully you guys did have a great holiday yesterday on July 4th. But we are here on a Friday evening here on July 5th. And we are here back at it again for another live stream for the first time in about 2 months, actually. The last time I did live stream, I was live for Game 6 of the first round between the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks, in which the 76ers did lose the series in 6 games of the first round against New York before the Knicks went off and advanced further into the playoffs before getting knocked out by, surprisingly, the Indiana Pacers. But we are here. It is the offseason, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here to talk 76ers free agency. We're going to recap any moves that the 76ers have made so far throughout free agency or anything that was via trade. We're going to potentially live react to any transactions that have been made that have involved the Philadelphia 76ers. And while that is going on, we are going to do a live call-in show depending on the amount of people that we do get that come through into this live stream here on this Friday evening. So we will hopefully do a live call-in show depending on the amount of people we get. We will hopefully be able to get some people up in here, discuss their thoughts on some of the transactions the 76ers have made so far in free agency via signing or trade, and possibly anyone else they would like to go ahead and acquire to fill out this 15-man roster full of guys that would be considered on standard contracts. And then you're allowed to have 3 players on two-ways, so you can have a total of 18 players basically on the roster, 3 on two-ways, 15 on standard contracts. We will go ahead and get into it very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to everyone that's already coming through, ladies and gents. We already have 4 people up in here. Appreciate you guys for coming through and tuning in already for the first live stream in 2 months. I know it's gotten a bit chaotic, but your boy has been busy with some things here and there, and, just haven't had a lot of time to do any content like live streaming, for instance. But I'm here this evening bringing content to you guys, and we're looking to get this show on the road. Once again, appreciate everybody coming through, tuning in. Hit the like button if you guys have not done so already. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel as well. And everybody, please be sure to go ahead and share out this stream so we can bring more viewers up in the chat. You guys know how we rock and roll as always. So let's get down to business here. We obviously got to go ahead and start off by going through the chat. Leading off is my guy, Eagles. What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through, stopping by. Just wanted to say what's up. Appreciate you for coming through, my guy, Eagles. Hit the like button if you have not done so, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through the stream. One of my loyal moderators right there, my guy, Eagles. Same thing with my guy, Ryan Rowe, a long-time subscriber. What's going on, Ryan? Appreciate you for coming through as well. Hit the like button if you have not done so, Ryan Rowe. Appreciate you for coming through to the stream as well. Shout out to everyone that's already coming through. We got 4 people up in here. Appreciate everybody that's coming through, tuning in already. But, guys, before we go ahead and get this live stream underway in terms of free agency moves that the 76ers have made up to this point, I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to kind of like a company or a product, not a sponsorship, just so you guys know, but a company / product that can help you guys in keeping your money safe, preventing any hackers from stealing any of your private information via technology, or if anything just falls out by mistake. So want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the newest product of the YouTube channel, in Slim Mint.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash protected. Slim Mint uses RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare, but with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With money clips, cash can easily fall out, but Slim Mint locks shut, so your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your business cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra-thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in your pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access. Say goodbye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush-resistant and can take a real beating. Similar wallets sell for over $150, but you won't pay even half that. Call Global Shop Direct or go online now to get Slim Mint for this low price and check out our 5 easy monthly payments. But wait, order right now and we'll double the offer. That's right, buy one and get one more. That's one for you and a bonus one for gifting too. Plus, Slim Mint is also available in a genuine leather outer shell design. You can upgrade to the new deluxe leather edition when you order today. Slim Mint will keep your cards organized, easy to find, and safe. Plus, it comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. Order Slim Mint or upgrade to the Slim Mint Deluxe Leather Edition and get this special buy one, get one more offer when you order from Global Shop Direct today.
So there you go, guys. There is the newest product of the YouTube channel here in Slim Mint. Arguably the most secure and probably arguably the thinnest wallet that you could ever purchase or use to just simply keep your money safe and prevent hackers from stealing any of your personal information that you will not like to have stolen. Forget all those folding wallets that allow your money to come loose so much easier. And same thing with those clipped wallets, which your money can just simply fall out and people can steal. Get yourself arguably the most secure wallet ever that has been invented. If you guys want to check out the product in Slim Mint, the actual wallet itself, there's a link down below in the description to go ahead and check it out. And be sure to go ahead and check it out if you guys want arguably the most secure wallet in the game. Let's go ahead and go back to the comments here. MC, what's going on? Appreciate you coming through as well. Says, let's go Sixers. Nice to see you, BL. It's a pleasure to be back, MC. Finally, I get back to live stream because we finally have something to talk about. And since it is the free agency period, I figured I'd go ahead and bring in free agency. I figure I put free agency into effect here. And I figured I'd just make a live stream for it instead of just doing the community posts and the YouTube shorts. I figured I'd combine everything into one. So that way we can be back here live streaming and we don't have to continue the slack of live streaming here on the channel. But MC, appreciate you coming through, tuning in as well. Hit the like button if you're not done so. MC, appreciate you coming through the stream. But ladies and gents, on that note, let's just go ahead and get right into it. We're kind of just recapping free agency here on what the 76ers have done and kind of like what's been rumored so far across the free agency world. And depending on how many people get, if we get like enough people in the chat, I will do a live call-in show to get the thoughts from the people on what they think about the 76ers move so far and who else they would like to add to the 76ers roster to fill out the 15-player roster plus the 3 players on 2 ways. So without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first free agency move that we have, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, was surprisingly for the star, quote unquote, that Daryl Morey was looking to go ahead and get. He was looking to go ahead and bring a star into Philadelphia. Instead of just kind of like going the role player route, he decides to go ahead and get his star. And the star that he went ahead and got was none other than Paul George. That's right, ladies and gents. Former free agent Paul George now has agreed on a 4-year, $212 million max contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Sources tell ESPN. Paul George committed in a meeting with the 76ers officials and returns east to join Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in pursuit of an NBA title. So Paul George is officially a Philadelphia 76er. You know, might have been a little bit expensive to go ahead and sign any more free agents, but at the end of the day, you already knew that Paul George was going to go ahead and get that max contract. It might have been a little much on the money, depending on how many more roster spots the 76ers still need to fill. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to sign Paul George to that max contract, you might as well either go big or go home. and the 76ers went big, as we can obviously see. And now they'll have Paul George for the next 4 seasons. And overall, my personal thoughts, I honestly like this contract. Get a star that can come in, perform, in which you already knew that he was going to want a max extension. Just knowing that he is a star in the league, he wasn't going to take some 3-year deal or some 4-year deal with no supermax money value in terms of contract details, anything in incentives, base salary, any of that good stuff. You already knew he was going to want a supermax. So at the end of the day, you had to kind of give him that money. And at the end of the day, Paul George is a very good pickup for the 76ers. And that is honestly a championship move right there if the 76ers are looking to go all in, because this is the time for the 76ers to go ahead and make a splash here in free agency to get a star in Paul George that can actually come in and perform alongside Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Bleacher, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. Since Paul George got a lot to perform up to, went big. What do the fans think? I think, honestly, a lot of the fans like it. Sure, some of the fans might say, oh, the 76ers went ahead, they overpaid Paul George. You already know that Paul George was going to ask for a supermax. So, I mean, that is somewhat reasonable to what a supermax extension or a supermax contract would look like for Paul George at the end of the day when it's all said and done. You were going to have to kind of expect that he was going to receive a contract like that. And especially when we get to some of these other contracts that we get to, it'll be really understandable that the 76ers went ahead and got Paul George for that many years and with that much money as well. But Bleacher, my guy, appreciate you for coming through, tuning in as well. Hit the like button if you're not done so. Bleacher, appreciate you for coming through the stream. Appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate everybody that's coming back in these live streams, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody that's coming through. Now, the second guy that we have to look over to for the 76ers in terms of a recap of what they've done so far throughout free agency is that they also have went ahead and signed their very own guard for the guard of the future in none other than Tyrese Maxey. Once again, shout out to Adrian Wojnarowski for a good majority of these tweets, to be completely honest here. But via ESPN sources, Philadelphia 76ers all-star guard Tyrese Maxey has agreed in principle on a 5-year, $204 million max contract extension. So Tyrese Maxey, we already knew he was going to pretty much return to the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, let's be real. Tyrese Maxey wasn't going to go anywhere. And now we have Maxey for the next 5 years after he gets off of his current contract. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, I think Maxey has 2 years left on this deal, and then he starts the 5-year. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I could be wrong, but I do believe Tyrese Maxey's in Philadelphia for a guaranteed for the next 7 seasons. If I am not mistaken, that is how long he's guaranteed to stay in Philly for. That's on top of the current contract that he's currently on. Or rather, he was a free agent, so he's here for a guaranteed 5 years now. He's now here for another guaranteed 5 years. And yes, he will become a unrestricted free agent after the 2029-2030 offseason is when he will become an unrestricted free agent. So Tyrese Maxey guaranteed to be here for the next 5 seasons. And honestly, once again, I love the move. I absolutely love the move. You already knew, again, it was coming, that Maxey was going to get a supermax on top of the fact that Paul George also got the exact same thing. So at the end of the day, you have to like the fact that Paul George and Tyrese Maxey both went ahead and got massive, and I repeat, massive contracts to be the future of the Philadelphia 76ers. And we know Paul George is aging, but if Paul George ever goes down, because he's been known to not be as healthy, but again, he is aging. So at the end of the day, you have to just understand that Tyrese Maxey wasn't going to go anywhere. And whenever the 76ers need some help, Tyrese Maxey is going to be the future star, because Joel Embiid's entering his prime too. So you have to have Tyrese Maxey take the next step and take the next leap into becoming one of the best guards in basically the entire NBA. Going back into the chat here, we got my guy SG Sports Talk. What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through, tuning in. Hit the like button if you're not done so, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through the stream. Butcher says, should they have made an announcement on Bronny James? I mean, I really don't think they should have drafted Bronny James. I mean, he was going to drop based on his draft stock was going to drop after he went into cardiac arrest. So at the end of the day, he wasn't going to get picked earlier than the second round. So he was going to get picked sometime in the second round. And now that he's repaired up with his father, LeBron, now they'll go ahead and play together in LA. And hopefully Bronny just turns out to be a good piece for them. I mean, I think he has a good future at the end of the day when it's all said and done. But, I mean, we'll see how the chemistry works out in LA. I'm doing great, SG Sports Talk. Hopefully you're doing the same, my guy. Hopefully everyone's doing well on this Friday evening here, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, shout out to everyone that's coming through. Hopefully everybody had a great 4th of July, Independence Day. Shout out to everyone that's coming through, tuning in. Appreciate everybody that's coming through. That is awesome about Maxey. Yes, sir. Drafted him. I don't think they were going to draft Bronny. I think they were definitely going to pass up. I mean, he didn't put up the best numbers, but even when he went to cardiac arrest, when he was going to miss the entire season, that's when his draft stock was just going to go ahead and just drop straight down. It was just going to drop. His draft stock was not going to stay the same after he had to deal with cardiac arrest. So, at the end of the day, the 76ers were not going to draft Bronny. Thoughts on DeAnthony Melton getting traded to the Warriors? We will get to that in just a little bit. SG Sports Talk. It's one of my topics that I want to talk about. So we will eventually get to that signing. Tyrese Maxey is awesome. Exactly. We'll see. And we'll see what happens with the LeBron James, Bronny James experiment in LA. We will just see what happens. Well, ladies and gents, the next guy we have to go ahead and get into, and shout out to my guy Philly Take with RB for putting it out. He was one of the first sources to basically go ahead and put this out as well. But according to Shams Charania, who's the first main source to put it out, but my guy Philly Take with RB was my first source to go ahead and put it out, so shout out to him. It says, breaking, Sixers are signing free agent Eric Gordon to a 1-year vet minimum per Shams Charania, in which, if you guys do not know, the vet minimum is $3.3 million for any vet like an Eric Gordon. So, again, kind of like my thoughts on it. I mean, this is just kind of like a depth piece behind our guards that we're going to have starting. The reason why I say our guards is because there's no guarantee to who in the world is going to be starting at shooting guard. There's going to be absolutely no guarantee. Like, who in the world is going to start at shooting guard with the way this team is looking right now? Like, we need a starting shooting guard and we need a starting power forward. There is just no guarantee to who is going to be starting at shooting guard. And I just don't see any way in the world it's going to be Eric Gordon. I don't see any way in the world it's going to be Eric Gordon. I think the 76ers will hopefully make another big splash here. When it's all set and done, they will make another big splash here to at least find a good quality player that will provide some production in the starting 5. So hopefully the 76ers and Daryl Morey can work something out. But again, it's just kind of a depth piece for Eric Gordon. Is kind of just like what it is. I mean, it's going to be nothing special. It's just for the sake of bench scoring. I mean, he can still score the ball a little bit, especially with the vet minimum contract he's getting. He's definitely going to pan out for the 76ers, I do believe. Just in my personal opinion, he's going to pan out. And especially under Nick Nurse, he's going to make Eric Gordon work really hard when it comes to playing on the court. So I do really think that Eric Gordon is going to be a good role player off the bench for the 76ers. So I love your channel. Shout out to you, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through. You're a great host. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And we'll eventually get to this, my guy. I know he's dropping in the chat, but we will go over it throughout the live stream. I have pretty much almost, if not every single transaction that the 76ers have made. I have pretty much almost, if not every single one. So, SG Sports Log, you don't have to worry, my guy. I have it. I have all of the posts on me. So, again, my guy, shout out to you for doing the job, though. But I do have all the tweets on me from the past. So, again, we will go ahead and break down every single one of these here on this live stream. Now, the next guy we have to go ahead and get into, it's a pretty familiar face if you guys know as Sixers fans from a few years ago when the 76ers used to have this guy, was really good at rebounding, and was just arguably the best backup center that Joel Embiid has ever had, if you want to look at it that way. But at the end of the day, the 76ers went out and brought back, used to be 76er, and now he's back on the 76ers. They go ahead and bring back Andre Drummond to a 2-year, $10+ million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers, according to Shams Charania. Sources tell The Athletic and at Stadium. And again, this is just another good move by the 76ers. This is kind of like where Daryl Morey was just starting to crush it in free agency when he brought back Andre Drummond to be a great backup center behind Joel Embiid. Arguably the best backup center that Joel Embiid has ever had, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, he was scoring in the paint. He was rebounding. And if you want to look at some of his highlight reels, you got him actually shooting from inside. You got him taking shots from the outside. Although against competition, he's probably not going to be like that. He's probably just going to be a guy that kind of just goes into the paint and just throws it down for scoring. But he is, again, still a great rebounder no matter how old he is. And once again, I like this move. Now, next guy we have to get into, once again, Adrian Wojnarowski being the first guy to go ahead and put this out. But the next guy the 76ers went ahead and brought back to their roster was guard Kelly Oubre, in which, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN sources, free agent guard Kelly Oubre Jr. has agreed on a 2-year, $16.3 million deal to stay with the Philadelphia 76ers. Deal includes a player option on the 2025-2026 season for the Sixers starting 2 guards. So Kelly Oubre being back on the 76ers is really helpful, whether if he is in the starting 5 playing the 2, because you're going to have Paul George playing the 3. And I'm not sure if Kelly Oubre is going to play the 4. At best, he's going to play the 2. That's going to be his best opportunity to play somewhere in the lineup. But I definitely like the fact that we went ahead and brought Kelly Oubre back to the team, because he was a great, gritty type of scorer. He was definitely a guy getting buckets for you, whether if it was in the starting 5 or off the bench. And he was probably the 6th man of the team last year, if you want to look at it that way. But Kelly Oubre, great to have him back on the team. Great to have him back on the team here. And you obviously got to love the fact that they brought back Kelly Oubre, because otherwise, I don't even know what my reaction would have been if the 76ers gave away Kelly Oubre to another type of team. But Kelly Oubre was really good last season, and I'm glad they brought him back. But they low-key kind of got him on a bit of a discount, because the fact that he's only getting $16.3 million for the next 2, amongst the next 2 seasons combined, the fact that he's only getting $16.3 million is a bit of a discount. And I know 76ers fans were panicking because of the fact that Kelly Oubre should have got more money. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that you just paid Tyrese Maxey a massive Supermax extension, which I know that when you retain your own players, it doesn't go against the cap. It doesn't go against the actual cap space. It only goes against the actual cap space when you sign players that were not on your team from last year. But at the end of the day, you still kind of have to realize that after the Paul George signing and after bringing back Tyrese Maxey on the Supermax extension, you had to figure someone was going to take a bit of a discount here, and that was apparently Kelly Oubre. I know he's getting less money compared to what he got last year when he was with the 76ers, but at the end of the day, great to have Kelly Oubre back for at least the next 2 seasons, and it should be a guarantee that he is back for the next 2 seasons as well. Can you send the link? We will do the call-in show closer towards the end of the live stream, kind of like after we're done going over all of these transactions and everything. We will go ahead and drop the link to anyone that will want to call into the show. TP1, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. This is TP here. Appreciate you, my guy, for coming through and tuning in. Hit the like button if you have not done so, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through this stream. Guys, feel free to go ahead and share this out to anybody that you know that is a 76ers fan or is just a fan of basketball in general. Just feel free to share it out, and maybe they'll catch any interest and see if they like it or not. So Feel free to share it out. Feel free to share out the stream to anybody that you know that is interested in basketball. Are Warriors fans welcome to call into the show? Absolutely. I mean, we welcome all NBA fans at the end of the day. I'll kind of ask any fans outside of the 76ers kind of like what they thought about what their team did in free agency and who they will look to acquire. So, SG Sports Talk, when I do drop the link, you can come in and give your thoughts about what your Warriors have done. So, I will be sure to let any outside 76ers fans into the stream so that way we can actually get the thoughts of other NBA fans on what their team has done in free agency as well via signing or trade or whichever way you want to put it. Next guy we have to go ahead and get into is apparently free agent guard DeAnthony Melton, who, according to Shams Charania, plans to sign a 1-year, $12.8 million deal with the Golden State Warriors, sources tell The Athletic and at Stadium. Sucks to see DeAnthony Melton go at the end of the day, but the 76ers were not going to retain all the guys they wanted to retain. I mean, Nico Batum was a guy that was out there. Yeah, Nico Batum out there. You had Kelly Oubre out there. You have Kyle Lowry still out there. I mean, you weren't going to retain everybody, to be fair. But at the end of the day, you just were not going to retain everybody because of the amount of cap space that you have to use up, whether if it is your own player or a player you're looking to sign or if you're looking to sign a player that was outside of your organization from the past season. So, at the end of the day, DeAnthony Melton having to move on. I wish him nothing but the best in Golden State. Hopefully he does well coming off the bench because he will probably be a bench scorer. I doubt that he goes ahead and starts for the Warriors alongside Steph Curry. But at the end of the day, once again, best of luck to DeAnthony Melton in Golden State. And we will see how he pans out on the West Coast. Because you're the most accepting YouTuber out there. This is awesome. Keep it up. Hey, MC, I appreciate that. I'm always welcoming to everybody. So, is the call-in show going to last for an hour or 30 minutes? Just kind of like anybody that wants to call in, give in their thoughts. If we have a bit of a line, then it is what it is. I'm gonna kind of do the call-in show kind of like while we're just waiting for like free agency news. And if we get like any bombshells from Shams Charania or Adrian Wojnarowski, we will go ahead and go over them while we are on this live stream. Does a stone needs to be like this? I'm not sure what that means by a stone, but this is what it is at the end of the day. Now the next guy that we have to get into, and this is the guy that everybody was talking about. Everyone was talking crazy on this guy. They were saying, oh, this guy should not come back to Philly. This guy should stay as far away from Philadelphia as possible. This guy needs to get away from Philly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, after being very invisible throughout the postseason, that is right, ladies and gents. Free agent forward Tobias Harris lands with the Detroit Pistons on a 2-year, $52 million deal, sources tell ESPN. An ideal fit on the floor and in the locker room for a young, developing roster. Really? An ideal fit? Come on now. Sure, okay, sure. Tobias Harris averaged 17 points a game throughout the regular season. But how did he perform in the playoffs? He absolutely disappeared. Tobias Harris is so inconsistent. He is extremely inconsistent when it comes to playing basketball, especially in the playoffs. The 76ers overpaid him a 5-year, $180 million contract when it was all said and done. But at the end of the day, good luck to the Pistons on Tobias Harris. That man is going to be a project for your franchise at the end of the day. But we'll see how that goes ahead and goes down for the Detroit Pistons. And also, guys, I want you guys to go ahead and check out the original way this was posted by Adrian Wojnarowski. Take a look at this, if you guys can see it. Go ahead and just read it real quick, and let me know if there's something fishy. Okay, so that's probably good enough for you guys to go ahead and read it. It says free agent forward is what they meant to say for Adrian Wojnarowski. Tobias Harris lands with the Detroit Pistons on a two-way, $52 million deal. Sources tell ESPN an ideal fit on the floor and in the locker room for a young developing roster. But really, a two-way, $52 million deal. I figured I put it out there just as a little bit of a joke because I was like, dang, that is the most expensive two-way player in NBA history. Two-way, $52 million. Man, Adrian Wojnarowski's even joking around with the Pistons. You're telling me that this dude Tobias Harris originally signed a two-way $52 million deal? That just gave me a joke. That just gave me a little laugh when that happened too. Like, I'm dead serious. That just gave me a little laugh when that happened too. So at the end of the day, that was a way to brighten up my day when the 76ers went ahead and had Tobias Harris go on and sign with the Detroit Pistons. That was just absolutely hilarious. That just made my day when that came out. I was like, a two-way $52 million deal? Really? What a joke the Pistons organization is, and same thing with Adrian Wojnarowski. What a joke. What a joke. But then the next guy we have to go ahead and get into, ladies and gents, I personally thought that this guy was going to go ahead and come back. I mean, he wanted to return to the 76ers, but instead, he ends up doing this. Free agent forward Nico Batum has agreed on a 2-year, $9.6 million deal to join the Los Angeles Clippers and return to their squad. Sources tell ESPN he will not be reuniting with Paul George because Paul George is in Philadelphia, but at bare minimum, he will be reuniting with Kawhi Leonard in LA. But it honestly sucks to see Nico Batum go because that was a guy I wanted the 76ers to re-sign to the roster because I really think he could have been effective in another year under Nick Nurse. And at the end of the day, I really do think he would have been a really useful piece off the bench to help out the 76ers with the bench scoring. Because low-key, he was kind of good when he played for the 76ers. He was low-key kind of good. But now he moves on and goes back to his old team in LA to play for the Clippers. So best of luck to Nico Batum the rest of the way. And best of luck to him back in his home in Los Angeles playing for the Clippers. Next thing we have to go ahead and get into, ladies and gentlemen, we do have indeed a sign and trade as the Golden State Warriors have agreed to a deal acquiring Buddy Hield via sign and trade from the 76ers. Sources tell at The Athletic and at Stadium, but posted by Shams Charania. New teammates Hield and Steph Curry are leaders for most three-pointers made over the last 5 NBA seasons, and now will be teammates. Overall, I'm kind of like mixed in terms of my emotions on how I feel about Buddy Hield going to the Warriors because, like, he was somewhat a good scorer. I mean, he was a guy that could have given you 10 to 15 points a night. But at the same time, when it came to the playoffs, I know he didn't play a lot, but he kind of low-key disappeared in the playoffs and at times was just a little bit too inconsistent. So I'm kind of mixed with my emotions to how I feel about Buddy Hield going to the Warriors. But again, best of luck to Buddy Hield out in Golden State. He is definitely going to be a guy that probably pans out to be a really solid player. And hey, he pairs up with DeAnthony Melton. So at the end of the day, best of luck to both those guys in Golden State. In terms of how I feel about this move, guys, I'm not up here, but I'm not down here. I'm like right here in terms of how I feel about this move. Like, my emotions about this move or like my feelings about this move are just like very mixed. Like, I'm right in the middle. There's no like positive. There's not a negative. I'm just right in the middle with how I feel about that move. Everyone needs to like this. Yes, sir. Shout out to MC for always supporting. You're one of the most passionate 76ers fans. Hey, SC Sports Talk, my guy, appreciate you. Once we get back on the play-by-plays, guys, for the 76ers, it's going to get crazy. it is going to get crazy at the end of the day when it's all said and done. The Pistons are a joke of an organization. Exactly. Like, sure, you paid Cade Cunningham a massive extension to stay in Detroit, but at what cost when you're not going to build the team around him? Hold up, where are the Cade Cunningham contract details? What did they give Cade Cunningham? What did they give Cade Cunningham? Hold up. Where's his most recent contract? All right, so about a couple days ago, the Pistons went ahead and signed Cade and re-signed Cade Cunningham to a 5-year, $226 million max rookie extension. And honestly, there's gonna be no point in having that happen if you're simply just not gonna build around Cade Cunningham, because Cade Cunningham is kind of like your cornerstone in terms of helping out this organization, in which this 5-year, $226 million max rookie extension would be considered the richest contract in franchise history. League sources confirmed to The Athletic on Sunday, when this was basically finalized at that point. But the Pistons signing Cade Cunningham to a max extension, at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's just kind of an iffy move. Like, if you don't address any of the other positions, then you're basically screwed. I mean, you have Cade Cunningham for the next 5 seasons, and then you're not going to go ahead and build around Cade Cunningham. You're not going to give him good quality role players at the very least that are going to pan out. And not to mention, they went ahead and fired Monty Williams, who actually overall is a very good coach in the NBA, but ended up not panning out in Detroit after 1 year with the Pistons. The Pistons basically said, we're going to move on from you. We're going to go ahead and find a new coach. In which I do believe for the Pistons' new head coach, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they did end up hiring JB Bickerstaff, who was fired from the Cavaliers and was hired by the Detroit Pistons. I mean, again, good luck to JB Bickerstaff out from Cleveland and into Detroit. I mean, he's a good coach at the end of the day, but is it going to be another story where we just have JB Bickerstaff get treated like a Monty Williams and be like a one and done? How is that going to pan out? That's just kind of like the thing that I have in terms of this hiring of JB Bickerstaff. I personally think Merle Reese needs to train him, make you take his place. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, MC. I mean, if I end up getting put in that position, by all means, good for me. But at the end of the day, we're kind of just doing what we're doing here with, live play-by-play and reactions here on this channel, providing analysis, all that good stuff. And, being in front of the camera and being on the radio are kind of, if you want to look at it one way, they're kind of two different things. Because, like, when you're on radio, you have to describe the game more versus when you're broadcasting, like on ESPN, the action is already happening. You just have to kind of like caption it. That's all you got to do when you're broadcasting on like ESPN, ABC, NBC Sports Philadelphia. But when you're on the radio, you have to say what's going on as well as commentate and break down the action that is happening. So there definitely is more to being a radio broadcaster versus being a sports broadcaster on any of the local TV channels. Buddy Hield will replace Klay Thompson as the second Splash brother alongside Steph Curry. Hey, I'll be low-key excited to see how that goes ahead and pans out. I'll be excited to see how that goes ahead and pans out, how that experiment will go. I don't think he's going to be as effective as Klay Thompson, especially if we're going to get, if Buddy Hield gets prime Klay Thompson vibes, then we might see those two be the next Splash Brothers. But I don't think I know Buddy Hield does have I know Buddy Hield does have a lot of threes in his career, but can him and Steph Curry build chemistry together to become the next Splash Brothers behind Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? Or is that experiment just kind of like over with the Splash Brothers? Buddy Hield and Steph Curry are the new Splash Brothers. I mean, hey, we'll see. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we will just kind of see. I don't like Paul George. I told you that before. I mean, it's fine. Everyone can give their opinion on how they feel about what happens with a bunch of these transactions. Everyone can come in and give their thoughts. I mean, some people like the contract. Some people don't like the contracts. I can fully respect it. But if you're going to kind of say that, you got to provide a little bit of context behind it and say, like, why or why not you like or don't like the contract. Like, you got to provide context to why you say that. Like, you got to provide context. You got to provide evidence. Got to do something like that. But the final screenshot that I have here, ladies and gentlemen, and then we do have a little bit of free agency news here, so I will go ahead and eventually get to that. Why is this not showing up? Come on, there's one more thing I wanted to get to. There we go. All right, so the final thing I want to go over here, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and take this banner down real quick. But the final thing I want to get into is a player that the 76ers have shown interest in. The Philadelphia 76ers are showing interest in Caleb Martin per Florida Sports Buzz. As the Philadelphia Inquirer's Keith Pompey just reported, the Philadelphia 76ers have had discussions with Heat free agent Haywood Highsmith, which again, I don't know why we're having discussions with Haywood Highsmith. I mean, what's he going to do for the team off the bench? Anyway, 76ers have also had discussions with Heat free agent Caleb Martin as they scan the free agent market for options to fill their roster, according to a league source. So at the end of the day, I would like Caleb Martin more on this team. It's just that the asking price for Caleb Martin is just way too much. We're talking $15 million a year for Caleb Martin. Are the 76ers going to pay that right now? Probably not. But how can they go ahead and change that scenario? Well, you would have to either trade or waive Paul Reed, most likely, who is carrying basically an $8 to $9 million cap hit, in addition to the cap space that you are already holding. You would probably have to go ahead and either waive or trade away Paul Reed because he's holding on to an $8 to $9 million cap hit, and Caleb Martin would just be a guy that would just come in on a one-year deal, most likely, because the 76ers, again, just don't have that much in cap space. And overall, would I like to have Caleb Martin? Yes. Would I like to have him for $15 million a year? Absolutely not. That's way too much. That is way too much. It's way too much to have Caleb Martin come here for $15 million a year. It is way too much for me to say that. But at the end of the day, I would love to have Caleb Martin on this team. Just for a bit of a lower asking price is what I would say. I would say just for a bit of a lower asking price. How long have you been a 76ers fan? I've been a 76ers fan. Well, I'm going to just flash it back to when I first started watching the 76ers. And that was, I'm trying to flash back here. That was the year when the 76ers were in the bubble in 2020 to 2021, or the year where the 76ers were in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and they were playing against the Toronto Raptors when Kawhi Leonard hit crazy dagger when he went ahead and hit that to have the Raptors advance into the Eastern Conference Finals. That was actually probably the first time I watched 76ers basketball, and I'll consider that as how long I have been a 76ers fan for. So mathematically, once this season rolls around, we can say almost 5 years is probably what we can say for how long I've been a 76ers fan for. So we can just put it like that. We can just put it like that for how long I've been a 76ers fan for. We could just say it that way. All right, guys, I am back here. Let's go ahead and get back through the chat, and then we'll go ahead and look through free agency. We're gonna have to probably refresh it a couple times just to see what goes on here. So between Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania, so we'll have to refresh it a couple times. Just thoughts on Lauri Markkanen and how well do you think he would fit on the Golden State Warriors in free agency? Lauri Markkanen is a good player for the first part of your question, SG Sports Talk. Lauri Markkanen is a good player for the Utah Jazz. He's been that way between his time with them, the Cavaliers. I know he was on the Bulls for a little bit, for maybe like a season or two, but the main points of his career were mainly with the Cavaliers and the Utah Jazz. But Lauri Markkanen is definitely a good player, definitely a good scorer. Probably one of the better 7-foot kind of quote unquote big men in the league. You can say it like that. But at the end of the day, Lauri Markkanen is definitely a really good player. He's a good scorer. He's definitely a good rebounder. He'll definitely give you 8 rebounds a game. I forget how many assists he puts up, but he's a good scorer and he's definitely a good rebounder. And he's definitely very efficient with his shooting all across the board. So, and then the second part, how well do you think he would fit on the Golden State Warriors in free agency? Lauri Markkanen is not a free agent. SG Sports Talk. He is on the Utah Jazz, still on the current contract right now. He's actually on an expiring contract to the end of this contract that he's working with. So at the end of the day, how would he fit on the Golden State Warriors in free agency? I mean, you'd have to give up maybe like a role player and then multiple draft picks because Danny Ainge is not going to go easy in terms of a transaction like this. He is not going to go easy. If you think Danny Ainge is going to go easy and say, here, we'll ask for 3 first-round picks for Lauri Markkanen, and then you guys can have him. He's not going to do it like that. He will want to do business for multiple hours straight. And just knowing Danny Ainge, until he gets what he wants, it's hard for him to accept the trade. It's hard for him to do so. But do I think he's going to be a good fit on the Warriors? I would personally. Would I have the 76ers go ahead and pay Lauri Markkanen to play the 4? I most definitely would. It's just about how much draft capital it would take for the 76ers to go ahead and get Lauri Markkanen. Like, is Danny Ainge going to ask for like 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks, a pick swap, a couple second-round picks? Who knows how many draft picks Danny Ainge is going to be asking for? But depending on how many draft picks the Utah Jazz get, assuming they were to go ahead and ship off Lauri Markkanen, assuming how many draft picks they were to get, you can kind of consider the Utah Jazz as quote-unquote the next Oklahoma City Thunder with all the draft picks the Thunder have right now. But at the end of the day, I would definitely see Lauri Markkanen on the Golden State Warriors, but I'd honestly prefer him to be on the Sixers, especially for the sake of rebounding, because the 76ers need that really badly right now. Because I know this isn't basketball related, but how about them Phillies, best team in baseball right now? Yeah, but it's going to be a tough stretch for them, especially over these next couple games. They're playing the Braves right now. Speaking of which, let's actually go ahead and check that Phillies score. Go ahead and check the Phillies score right now. See how they're doing. They're tied 0-0 midway through the 3rd inning right now, but the Phillies are definitely doing good, though, by all means. So the Phillies are looking really efficient right now. I really love what the Phillies are doing overall. I mean, even without Kyle Schwarber, even without Bryce Harper, and even without JT Realmuto, they're still finding ways to win games. Even though they didn't get it done last night against the Cubs, who honestly cares? Because the Phillies were still able to take 2 out of 3 games against them. Who cares if they didn't take that 3rd game against the Cubs? They didn't need to. They didn't need to take that 3rd game against the Cubs. They could have just let that go. For crying out loud, they could have played a bullpen game with Matt Strom if they wanted to. They could have did that instead. And the series there and right now is huge because you're playing the Braves and you can gain some more ground, and we have some tough teams coming up. Yeah, we definitely do have some tough teams to play eventually going forward. So at the end of the day, when you're just looking at the Phillies schedule, when you're just looking at the Eagles, you obviously have the Phillies playing the Braves coming up. Then after the Braves, you have the Dodgers back-to-back series against the Braves and Dodgers, which are both going to be really tough and competitive series. And then you got them playing against the Oakland A's. I mean, they should be able to cover some ground right there, get back on track with that. And then you got the Pirates, who are an up and down type of team. Then you got the Twins, the Guardians, the Yankees for a couple games, the Mariners, and so on and so forth. You got to play the Dodgers again. So at the end of the day, the Phillies will look to win as many games as possible, especially before the All-Star break, which that'll definitely give time. That'll definitely give players like JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper some time to go ahead and recover from their injuries and hopefully come back stronger than ever right after the All-Star break. Markkanen is on a very team-friendly $18 million contract for the Jazz, but would be a free agent after the 2025 season. Yeah, he would be a free agent, but the thing is, you have to take on his expiring contract. You have to take it on. And Danny Ainge is not going to give away Markkanen for cheap. He's not going to do it for cheap. He's at bare minimum asking for 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, and maybe a couple second-round picks for Markkanen. Because you can kind of say that Markkanen is kind of like the cornerstone to that team, because the way the Jazz are right now, if it isn't for Markkanen, this Utah Jazz team doesn't even have as many wins as they did this past season. So Lauri Markkanen is like the heart and soul, the cornerstone of this Utah Jazz team, and Danny Ainge is not going to give him up for cheap. So you expect a lot of draft picks to be involved in a deal for Lauri Markkanen. Thoughts on the San Antonio Spurs signing Chris Paul from the Golden State Warriors worth more than $11 million? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as they kind of say in San Antonio, it's going to be Lob City with Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama. So at the end of the day, Chris Paul, seriously speaking, he brings that veteran presence and experience into a young organization like San Antonio with a veteran head coach in Greg Popovich. So Chris Paul getting coached up by Greg Popovich is going to kind of just be, I'm not even sure if he's going to start as one of the team's starting guards, which he probably will. But again, he's going to be one of those guys that's just going to be a leader on that team. He's going to show his leadership. He's going to show his leadership because, again, he's been in the league for a long time now, and he's going to show that leadership to a young organization like the San Antonio Spurs. I think we made a huge mistake signing James Jones. By the way, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through, or rather, James, I should say. Appreciate you for coming through, tuning in, my guy. Hit the like button if you have not done so, my guy. Appreciate you for coming through the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, which I forget if you're already subscribed or not. But he says, I think we made a huge mistake signing Paul George. We waited on Harden and lost out on Halliburton. We waited around on George and lost out on DeJounte Murray. Cheaper and younger guys that we could have had. I mean, that's true at the end of the day. I mean, that's definitely reasonable. But at the end of the day, you just have to take some of these guys, these other guys like Kelly Oubre, for instance, and Andre Drummond, for instance. You kind of just have to take these guys and put them on a bit of cheaper contracts. But at the end of the day, the 76ers did go ahead and get their guy. I mean, they were rumored to get a lot of stars, honestly. I mean, we were hearing about again, Paul George. We were at times hearing about Kevin Durant. We were hearing about Lauri Markkanen at times. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's no surprise. I mean, heck, for crying out loud, we were hearing about Zach LaVine. We were hearing about DeMar DeRozan. We were hearing about all these guys. And those guys would have not been gotten for cheap either. They wouldn't have been earned for cheap by any means. So, just got to hope Paul George can stay healthy. And with him being alongside Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, will make a nice trio and make a nice big three in the NBA. So I definitely, at the end of the day, like Paul George on this team. And, you were going to have to give him a Supermax. You were just going to have to do it because he wasn't going to go for some 2-year deal, 3-year deal. No matter how old he is, he wasn't going to go for a cheaper deal, something like that. So at the end of the day, he was expecting a Supermax. The 76ers gave him that. And Paul George, welcome to Philadelphia. George goes down. We're the 2023 76ers. Shaking my head. God forbid if Maxey regressed after signing a big contract. He better not. There is no, I'll give it a 0.1% chance that Tyrese Maxey regresses after signing a massive contract. This isn't Tobias Harris 2.0. Okay, this is not Tobias Harris 2.0 we're talking about. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey, a player that continues to get better every single season after where he was starting, just as a role player off the bench. He started there, got up into the starting lineup when you-know-who wanted to go ahead and just kind of like quit on being a player for the team. And then Tyrese Maxey just continued to get better and better every single season. So there's no way we see Tyrese Maxey regress after signing a big contract. The only period I see Tyrese Maxey realistically speaking regressing for the 76ers is just simply when he gets older. That's just the only way I see him regressing. But the way he's playing right now and the way that he's working, he's definitely in for another big year alongside Paul George and Joel Embiid. As SG Sports Talk says, thoughts on the Golden State Warriors signing Lindy Waters III from the Oklahoma City Thunder as an undrafted free agent. Yeah, just kind of another like depth piece or like a piece of insurance for the Golden State Warriors. Just signing Lindy Waters might give you a little bit of bench scoring, might be 10 points a night for Lindy Waters just to kind of like close out games for you guys. I'm not sure how much playing time he is going to go ahead and get for Golden State, but at the end of the day, we'll kind of just find out where he goes from here. So overall, I don't see him taking a massive role in Golden State, especially with the room of guards that you already have. I mean, you already got Steph Curry, you got Buddy Hield, you got DeAnthony Melton. You have two former Sixers there that are going to get more playing time than Lindy Waters. Lindy Waters III was named a finalist for the NBA 2023-2024 Social Justice Champion Award for the work his foundation does to support Native American youth through sports, health, and wellness. Hey, shout out to Lindy Waters, man. Doing things good both on and off the court. I mean, you got to love it. You got to love it. On and off the court activities, you got to provide those. So, again, shout out to Lindy Waters, man. All right, guys. So, we're just going to kind of scroll through free agency here, see if there's anything big that realistically went down in a free agency. So, we're just going to look at anything that went down today. So, the big thing that I see here, realistically speaking, beg your pardon, but the big thing I see here, realistically speaking, is that via ESPN sources, Orlando Magic forward Franz Wagner has agreed on a 5-year, $224 million max rookie contract extension, a deal that could become worth as much as $259 million, I do believe that says, or rather $269 million. So that's like the main thing that I've seen today in terms of like free agency is the massive rookie contract extension we are seeing from Franz Wagner. But again, at the end of the day, he low-key kind of deserves it because he has been a good player for the Orlando Magic, and the Magic just continue to build. So at the end of the day, when you look at it that way, Franz Wagner, could he be a cornerstone for the Orlando Magic? Could he be a cornerstone for the Orlando Magic? We shall see. So who do we sign with the $8 to $9 million we have left? Excuse me on the voice crack, by the way, but with the $8 to $9 million we have left, James, I'm not going to lie to you. I think we can get a little bit more than that because if the 76ers were to trade Paul Reed or waive Paul Reed, they would get another extra like $8 to $9 million in cap space. So we would be looking at $16 to $17 million. And they don't need that much in terms of like players to add to the roster. They don't need that much. They need like a couple more players, a couple more bodies. They need someone to start as shooting guard. We know that for sure. They need someone to go ahead and start at power forward. But that could come via trade. Especially if you get a guy like a Lauri Markkanen. All you would have to do is trade for him. And you would have to trade draft assets to get Lauri Markkanen. Then shooting guard, you'd probably just have to go ahead and pay somebody. I'd say pay a guy like a Gary Trent Jr. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. coming in, taking a little bit of a pay cut, or maybe just signing to a 1-year deal because, again, you don't have to pay for Lauri Markkanen. All you have to do is just trade for him. So with the $17 million, he's asking for, I think, 16 to 18 million, somewhere in that range. He's asking for something like that. That's what he's asking for. So if you sign Gary Trent Jr. to like a 1-year deal or signed like a couple years with a player option, I think the best you can do is sign to a 1-year deal based on the contract details and with the cap space the 76ers have left. So give me Gary Trent Jr. and trade for Lauri Markkanen is what I would do. Steph Curry also has a foundation called Eat, Learn, and Play with his wife Aisha Curry, where they support children's well-being through access to nutrition, meals, and quality resources. Hey, shout out to the Curry family, man. Shout out to them. But guys, again, as we are looking through free agency here, I don't really see anything else that has really like struck the free agency world today. I mean, there's nothing really like that big, like realistically speaking. I mean, I just don't see anything big, to be completely honest. Oh, another little thing here. So, free agent center / forward Kai Jones has agreed to a non-guaranteed. This is from Shams Charania, by the way. Free agent center / forward Kai Jones has agreed to a non-guaranteed deal to return to the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers incorporated the talented 6'11" big man at the end of last season to give the 2021 number 19 overall pick a chance to compete for a roster spot next season. Remember the Kai Jones days in Philadelphia, everybody? Those were probably some of the craziest days ever. Those are just like the craziest days ever when we had Kai Jones on this team as another just like centerpiece. You know what I'm saying? Those are just like some of the crazy days. $17 million for DeRozan 1-year deal. Miles Bridges, $12 million. Choose DeMar DeRozan. 100%. 100% DeMar DeRozan. There's just too many off-court activities for Miles Bridges. There's just too many off-court activities for Miles Bridges that is going on with him. So if you ever give a scenario that involves Miles Bridges, you're taking the other player. You're taking the other player. His off-court activities, his body language, Miles Bridges, it's just not that good. He's a good player when he's on the floor, but his off-court activities just have to concern just every single organization. So at the end of the day, I'm taking $17 million for DeMar DeRozan on a 1-year deal. That's what I'm doing personally. If that were to ever happen, that DeMar DeRozan were to ever sign on a 1-year deal, if he were to ever sign on a 1-year deal, DeMar DeRozan, that would just make me laugh, because that just shows you that DeMar DeRozan went from here and then went down here. That's what that's telling me. If you're paying DeMar DeRozan $17 million for a 1-year deal, that would just be plain stupid. That would just make me laugh at that point. All right, I'm going to refresh the pages here, see if we got anything else. Now, the most recent thing being Franz Wagner with the rookie max extension. All right, guys, we got 6 people up in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Anyone that wants to call into the show and go ahead and give their thoughts on what they think about what their teams have done so far in the offseason, whether if it's the 76ers or if it's with another NBA team, feel free to go ahead, drop in, give your thoughts. If I can figure out how to get the link up in here. I got to remember how to do it. Oh, wait. Invite. There we go. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and pin the StreamYard link. All right, guys, the link is officially pinned to the chat, so anybody wanting to call in and go ahead and give their thoughts on anything they want to go ahead and discuss, anything we discussed so far, or if they want to discuss their own teams, the link is pinned at the top of the chat, so feel free to call in and give your guys' thoughts. Man, outside of the Franz Wagner deal, free agency's been quiet today. Outside of Franz Wagner and Kai Jones, free agency's been quiet. It's been extremely quiet. Outside of Kai Jones and Franz Wagner. The Franz Wagner deal is absolutely ridiculous. 5-year rookie contract extension worth up to $270 million. Like, that's just absurd, ladies and gentlemen. That is just absolutely absurd. Like, I'm honestly still losing my mind over that. I'm not even going to lie. Guys, again, if you guys want to call into the show, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. It replaced the Slim Mint one. Again, if you guys have not checked out our newest product, Slim Mint, if you guys have not checked that out already, be sure to go ahead and check it out if you want the most secure wallet, arguably the most secure wallet in the game right now, which is still ultra thin, keeps your money safe, and will prevent hackers or anybody or any criminals that try to steal any of your private information. Be sure to go ahead and check that out. The link is still posted in the description of the live stream. So anybody who wants to come in here, give their thoughts on anything free agency related to their team or the Philadelphia 76ers, be sure to call into the show, as the link is pinned at the top of the chat. It just feels so good to get back on one of these live streams. It just feels so good. But ladies and gentlemen, you already know I've been busy recently with a lot of things going on, so it's a good thing I can get back on here on a Friday night, day after 4th of July, after Independence Day. It just feels good to get back on here and chop it up with you guys, talk about free agency, kind of recap everything, go over anything that has been discussed across the internet. It's been great getting back on here, and I hope to do more live streams in the future, and I know I've slacked on it a little bit, but ladies and gents, trust me, we will get back to live streaming a little bit more. But I just had to go ahead and drop a live stream for you guys, because I know it's been a 2-month hiatus since we last live streamed. So at the end of the day, just got to get back to doing it. Got to start somewhere, and here we are to this point. Guys, again, if you guys want to call into the show, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. We got 4 people up in here. Come on. Anyone wants to give their thoughts, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Who just scored? It's 1-0. Yes, sir. Let's go. Eagles, if you want to call into the show, my guy, give any thoughts on what you think about 76ers free agency, because I do believe you are a 76ers fan. Click the pinned comment at the top of the chat and click the link and call into the show. Make this a little bit interesting here. Let's go. But yeah, free agency has not been that active today, apart from Franz Wagner and Kai Jones. Kai Jones and Franz Wagner being the only moves. That's crazy. But yeah, it's just been quiet in terms of free agency. I do hope that Lauri Markkanen does get traded to the 76ers. I do hope that Daryl Morey is doing business with Danny Ainge at some point. Because Lauri Markkanen on this team would instantly solve all the problems at the power forward position. It would instantly solve all the problems. And you have Kelly Oubre, who can play multiple positions. Like, he can play shooting guard. He can play small forward. Heck, if you want him to play power forward, he can play power forward too. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do with Kelly Oubre, he will go ahead and do it. Aaron just hit a 2-run homer. It's 3-0. I wish I could watch it, Eagles, but it's on freaking Apple TV Plus. It's on Apple TV Plus, for goodness sake. I wish I could watch it so bad. I'll be able to watch it tomorrow. I'll be able to watch the game tomorrow, though. Then I have to work on Sunday, unfortunately, so I'll only be able to get to watch one of 3 games in the series in terms of, like, watching it on television, so it sucks that I'm slacking on watching these Phillies games. It's honestly terrible, but, got to go ahead, take care of business. Got to take care of business with all the stuff that I have going on. I want to get back to watching the Phillies more. And guys, for my people asking about the Phillies play-by-plays, for anyone asking about those, because I've gotten a lot of feedback on the baseball live streams recently for the Phillies. Again, this kind of goes with my setback on the live streams. It kind of just goes with it, As a guy who is getting older, I have to take a bit more responsibility, and activity for your boy here is just getting really active in terms of like things to do, kind of like what the schedule's like, kind of just having like a schedule on what to do each day. So I'm trying my best to live stream games, everybody, but if I do end up live streaming any Phillies games, it's probably not going to be till after the All-Star break. But again, guys, I'm trying my best. I mean, your boy's entering the workforce over here, so I'm trying my best. I mean, I got 2 jobs going on. I'll have 2 jobs going on starting on Monday. So your boy is over here trying his best. Guys, again, if anyone wants to call into the show, we got 5 people up in here. Again, appreciate you guys for coming through, tuning in. If anyone wants to call into the show and give their thoughts on what they think about any transactions that the 76ers have done or what their team has done, the link is pinned at the top of the chat. So feel free to go ahead and call in and give your guys' thoughts. You have nobody in the back right now, so guys, feel free to come in and give your thoughts on anything free agency related to either the Philadelphia 76ers or your guys' restricted team. Feel free to come in and give your thoughts. If we don't get anybody to kind of call in at the hour and 30-minute mark, we're probably just going to go ahead and end it. But again, I appreciate everybody that's coming through, tuning in, providing their thoughts in the chat. I appreciate everybody that's coming through, tuning in. But again, guys, if you want to come in and give your thoughts on anything that has gone down in the past couple of days, or anybody else that you guys would want your respective teams to go ahead and acquire, feel free to call into the show and provide some context. NC says it's a shame they're making us subscribe to spend more money to watch anything. It is horrible. Tell me about it. Like, you're making everybody have to go get Apple TV Plus. You're making, like, why do we have to be on local TV? We have to be on local TV for games like this on a Friday night. It's absolutely ridiculous. It drives me insane. It really does. Especially in terms of these Phillies games. And when it comes to like Thursday night football for the NFL, when it comes to Amazon Prime, that's just even more ridiculous. Like how much more money do we have to spend with the way our world is currently looking like right now? Is there being greedy and karma sucks? Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, though, kind of just trying to live our lives the way we want to live them. And at the end of the day, hopefully the 76ers, on the 76ers side, hopefully they make a couple more moves to fill out this roster, because we still need a starting shooting guard and we still need a starting power forward. We still need those. And also, guys, if you did not see in terms of the NBA draft, the 76ers with the 16th pick drafted former Duke guard Jared McCain. And then with the 41st pick, they drafted UCLA center Adem Bona. So we will get to eventually see those guys playing in Summer League, which, if I'm not mistaken, the Summer League schedule, or rather the Summer League for the 76ers starts next week, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Summer League for the 76ers start next week. I'm pretty sure. It does start next week. Salt Lake City summer schedule. Yeah, according to the NBA app, it says, as you gear up for NBA Summer League action, get ready for an exciting week of basketball with the Salt Lake City Summer League taking place July 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, and featuring the Utah Jazz, Memphis Grizzlies, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Philadelphia 76ers. So, yes, that will be starting up basically on Monday. But again, guys, your boy over here is just extremely busy between mainly work for the most part. So as your boy starts going full time, your boy's not going to have an opportunity to cover as much news or coverage overall in terms of Philly sports. But again, in terms of if there's any news that is released and if I don't have time to make a video on it, I'll just either do a 15-second YouTube short or a community post like I've been doing, because that's kind of the fastest way that I can provide content for you guys. And I know you guys enjoy all the content that is provided here on this channel. So again, I appreciate everybody that has supported this channel for a long time coming now. And we will continue the grind on this channel as long as you guys like the content. But we're going to refresh Woj and Shams Charania one more time. Nothing on Woj's end. And in terms of Shams Charania, nothing on his end either. Well, on that note, ladies and gents, that is probably, I think, where we're going to go ahead and end this live stream, seeing that nobody's calling into the show to give their thoughts on what they think about NBA free agency. So, again, appreciate you guys for coming through, tuning in, ladies and gents. You guys are all awesome. You guys are the best. We continue to build up this community. And again, shout out to everybody that has supported for a long time coming out. But before we do go ahead and get out of here, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and hear one last word from the newest product of the YouTube channel, in Slim Mint, arguably the most secure wallet that you guys will ever witness if you guys do elect to purchase it.
Your wallet is always in danger. Criminals can scan and hack your information without you even knowing. Worse yet, it's bulky and disorganized. But not anymore, because Slim is in. Introducing Slim Mint, an ultra-thin RFID blocking wallet that keeps your cards and cash protected. Slim Mint uses RFID blocking technology to prevent thieves from scanning your wallet and stealing your info.
Having your information stolen is a nightmare, but with Slim Mint, I know I'm protected.
With money clips, cash can easily fall out, but Slim Mint locks shut, so your cards and money stay securely in place. Then just press the button to release the lock. Slim Mint is ergonomically designed to optimize space and keep your belongings organized. It has a built-in cash clip and a flexible outer band to securely fit your business cards and your extra cash. Even with everything you see here in the Slim Mint, it's still ultra-thin. Bulky wallets are uncomfortable, but the Slim Mint is so compact it fits in your pocket. Plus, it keeps everything easy to access. Say goodbye to bent cards and damaged magnetic strips. Slim Mint keeps them protected. It's crush-resistant and can take a real beating. Similar wallets sell for over $150, but you won't pay even half that. Call Global Shop Direct or go online now to get Slim Mint for this low price and check out our 5 easy monthly payments. But wait, order right now and we'll double the offer. That's right, buy one and get one more. That's one for you and a bonus one for gifting too. Plus, Slim Mint is also available in a genuine leather outer shell design. You can upgrade to the new deluxe leather edition when you order today. Slim Mint will keep your cards organized, easy to find, and safe. Plus, it comes with Global Shop Direct's 30-day money-back guarantee. Order Slim Mint or upgrade to the Slim Mint Deluxe Leather Edition and get this special buy one, get one more offer when you order from Global Shop Direct today.
So there you go, guys. for the second time around, there is our newest product of the YouTube channel here in Slim Mint. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out arguably the most secure wallet in the game right now, click the link down below in the description to go ahead and get your first purchase. I can't join? How come, SG Sports Talk? What's going on your end? I don't recall anything happening in terms of like anything wrong with the link. Is there something wrong with the link? Because if there's something wrong with the link, I will go ahead and repost it. I'll go ahead and repost the link if there's something wrong with it, SG Sports Talk. Just let me know why you can't join the live stream. Just let me know. If it's for a personal reason, then we'll just go ahead and get out of here. But again, guys, appreciate everybody that's been coming through. We've been on here for almost an hour, 36 minutes. Again, appreciate every single one of you guys. I wanted to get back to doing a live stream so bad after a 2-month hiatus in terms of doing live streams. But here we are back once again. Appreciate everybody that has supported on the very first live stream put up in approximately 2 months, a little bit over 2 months now, I do believe. So appreciate everybody that came back and continued to support. So shout out to everybody. SG Sports Talk, my guy, let me know the reason why you can't join on the live stream. Let me know. Also, ladies and gents, a couple days ago, I know he's not going to really get a lot of playing time, but 2 days ago, free agent forward PJ Dozier, I think it's Dozier, has agreed on a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves, sources tell ESPN. Dozier returns from a season in Europe after a torn ACL with the Nuggets in late 2021, caused him to again make his case for an NBA contract. So he'll probably be playing garbage minutes for the Denver Nuggets. So best of luck to him, and hopefully he does not get injured again and doesn't have to deal with another serious injury. But again, hopefully that is a solid move for the Denver Nuggets. And maybe SG Sports Talk just kind of had something personal going on, had to do something. So on that note, ladies and gents, we're gonna actually go ahead and get out of here for the rest of the night. You guys go ahead and have a very blessed and happy weekend. Let's make this a good weekend, guys. For our Phillies, let's go ahead and get a couple more wins on the board, with us being a little bit short-handed of Schwarber, JT, and Harper. None of those three in the lineup, but apparently the Phillies are getting it done right now, 3-0, unless if I go here and it updates actually. And now the Phillies are actually up 3-2 over the Braves. So okay. Well, so much for saying the Phillies are up 3-0. They're now up 3-2 over the Braves in the bottom of the fourth. Not like I can watch it anyway because it's on Apple TV Plus. Yeah, I just said that, Eagles. Sucks, man. Starting lineup, by the way, for the Philadelphia Phillies, ladies and gentlemen: Bryson Stott being the designated hitter, shortstop Trey Turner, first baseman Alec Bohm, right fielder Nick Castellanos, third base Edmundo Sosa, second baseman Whit Merrifield, catcher Rafael Marchand, center fielder Johan Rojas, and then left fielder Christian Pache. Then Aaron Nola on the mound so far, going through 3 1/3 innings so far, giving up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts. Apple TV sucks. Yeah, it absolutely does, man. Especially if you want to watch a game. Like, how can people afford a game? Like, we're not going to be money spenders. Not everyone's going to spend their money on something like this. The same thing goes for Amazon Prime Video. It goes the same way for Amazon Prime Video. But again, ladies and gents, on that note, that's pretty much going to go ahead and do it for me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys have not done so, ladies and gents. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody. Have a great rest of your guys' night and weekend. What I meant to say, ladies and gents. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys have not done so, ladies and gents. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a happy weekend, everybody. God bless and peace.